This is a replay from Dutch Elephant. Dutch, I can't remember. Was this a sub replay or was this your cover my replay? I can't remember. Channel points or sub?
Voor my reply.
Okay, this is channel points. Got it. So he sent in this replay of the Cristoforo Colombo, the Tier 10 Italian battleship. This battleship was pain for so long. What's up, Emin? And then something changed. And that thing that changed is the unique upgrade for Colombo, the improved rangefinders. Now, this is in slot 6, and what that does is it tightens up the dispersion of the Colombo, essentially fixes it from back when it was being tested. So, when it was under... I'm sorry, go ahead, Dutch.
In my opinion, the ledge mod isn't even that big of a deal. It's more the turret angles that makes it excellent. Because the dispersion is nice, but I mean the turret angles make you so more flexible if you get.
Got it.
You can just have awkward angles on the enemy while they can't shoot you that good.
Got it. And because on top of this this unique upgrade, the turret angles were improved, especially if I remember right, the rear turrets, right? They were increased a little bit. So those two in combination kind of fixed the problem. But during testing Colombo, the whole Italian battleship line was tested while Deadeye, you might recall that commander skill, those of you that played for a long time, Deadeye worked, it gave you a buff of your dispersion if you were unspotted when you fired your guns. And these ships have fuel smoke, which means you can put the smoke up, not be spotted, fire main guns, and have tighter dispersion as a result. Deadeye was removed from the game, and the entire line was not really changed to compensate for that. As a result, the Italian battleships always feel like they don't have the best accuracy in the world. So anyway, let's take a look at Dutch's build for this. So we already talked about the unique upgrade. If you don't want to put out the points for unique upgrade, you're probably going to just go for main battery mod 3 for reload. You've got spotting aircraft modification 1 because spotting aircraft is very important in this ship. Once you got your smoke up, you can put your spotting aircraft up and then you can see everything around you. Comes in very handy. And then you've got damage control modification 1. There's really nothing else to put in here. You don't lose your engines or rudder that often. And then you've got aiming systems for your slot 3. That makes perfect sense. You've got propulsion for slot 4. What's your maneuverability like? You're at just over 15 seconds. You could get away with going for the rudder shift, but for right now you got propulsion.
If I play it's different, but I play it very aggressive, so I need it.
You play it very aggressive?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason rudder shift comes in handy is because it helps to ensure that you're angling your ship according to incoming fire, especially enemy battleships. The Cristoforo Colombo line, these battleships have good thick side armor plating. However, if you show too much side, that actually ends up being a curse, and it traps a lot of AP shells from other battleships, and then you explode. So steering gears helps you to get your armor angled just that much better. Propulsion helps you if you slow down a lot and you play like kind of speed games. It can help you dodge torpedoes especially, and even incoming shells and stuff. So we'll see how you play and we can give you some feedback accordingly. You've got Sansonetti as your commander. Now Sansonetti is usually better suited on a Venezia. Why did you put him on here?
I don't have Venezia and I want the shell switching time because it's 10 seconds and it gives me more flexibility when switching to AP or SEP.
Okay. So for battleship, Sansonetti gives you boosted gun feeder. It's 60% instead of, I think the standard is 40%. Yeah. So this helps you switching between your SAP shells or your AP shells much quicker. Sansonetti is best suited on a Venezia, but if you don't have a Venezia, like Dutch says, then fair enough. Now, there are a couple of talents that you get from Sansonetti. Eamon, I'll answer that in one sec. If you get a Confederate, that helps your main battery reload time, which is very sexy in a Colombo. And then also, if you hit with main battery 100 times, your consumable action time increases by 10%. This is really more for a Venezia, and that's why I said Sansonetti is best on Venezia. And then if you destroy an enemy ship, your main battery firing range increases by 8%, which is also something else that helps for Venezia. But it could help
This
you
helps
in
with
Colombo too.
Colombo as well. Yes, it helps.
Yep. And how does it help in the Colombo, Dutch?
You have 19 km range base.
Mm-hmm.
With kill you get 20.5, and suddenly there's like more to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
So
get me
you
wrong, but 19 km range is just nothing on a BB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right here. So it does help you with your range. The other thing too is because of the
And you
extra
also get
range.
whip dispersion.
Bingo, which I was just going to talk about. It helps your vertical dispersion everywhere within that standard range. So it definitely is still a buff on the Colombo. Although, like I said, usually it's going to be best for Venezia because that ship is something that's going to be kiting and playing at long range. Anyway, let's take a look at your captain build. You've gone for gun feeder, preventative maintenance, grease the gears, brisk, adrenaline rush, and then your standard emergency repair expert, concealment expert, and fire prevention expert. Okay. Couple of things I want to talk about with this build here. One is, why did you go preventative maintenance?
I had 1 point left, and I don't like to get my guns knocked out by a pet
Okay.
or something.
Fair. You got 1 point left. You don't know where to put it. This helps, and this helps keep your anti-air alive too,
I
and your
also play
secondaries.
spam battles with this build and this commander, so I need some. I mean, they're Novo, and so
Okay.
you need like the kind of survivability, and it's 30%. It's 30% is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound much, but it can just make a difference.
Okay. There's a couple alternatives at tier at 1 point that you could use that could be helpful, even in clan battles. One could be consumable specialist that gets your smoke available quicker. It's really only useful for your smoke. I guess maybe also your plane, but you could also go for emergency repair so that you can DCP quicker and repair quicker. Alternately, one thing you could do, since this is a tier 10 ship, is you could drop emergency repair expert in favor of improved repair party readiness. Now, for this, you have to get 2 million potential damage. That's the you have to get that. But if you do, you get the same extra heal that you get from emergency repair expert. And now that frees up a second point skill. So you could do, for example, priority target, which is what I would probably do. This helps you get an idea of who could be shooting at you. Very helpful in clan battles, ranked, randoms. Alternately, you could do vigilance as well, so you take less damage from torpedoes and you can see torpedoes farther away. So either of those are good choices too. I'll put this back on what you had. So
But I don't know. I'm just used to play without priority targets, so it's like it's a habit.
Mhm.
Before I used priority targets all over the place, but after that I dropped it, and at some point I needed more skill points, so I dropped it, and I got 2 skill points available. So I learned to play without.
So if you don't use priority target, fair. I love priority target. I still play with it, and I will never walk away from it. I mean, there's some builds where you just simply don't have room for it. But for me, if I was building this Colombo and playing this Colombo myself, I would absolutely do it like this. But if you don't want that, you can also take the vigilance. You said you play aggressive. This could help you too with dodging torpedoes. So, I like to highlight when we talk about builds, different lines of thinking and different ways to build ships, because there's not just one way to build a ship. It comes down to how you play it to figure that out. So let's put it back to how you had it. Seabear said, I wish Wargaming would stop making ships that need a captain skill point to be good when changing or removing that skill. Well, the problem was Seabear was that it was tested under that skill, and then like 3 months later they removed Deadeye. So, it happens. Flags. You've got ramming flag, hit point flag, heal flag, speed, consumables, secondaries, smoke. Okay. You said you play aggressive. I'm surprised that I'm not seeing a fire extinguishing time, and I would drop secondaries and I would pick up flooding. I would go this route. You were down one flag anyway. If you're playing this in competitive, you definitely want to use all 8. So I would probably do something like this.
It's random. So I just put on flags where I have like 1,000 from in my stockpile and I never use.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. And if that's the case, then fine, by all means, you know. And at that point, I would even put anti-air on if you've got a lot of it, because who cares? All right, let's get into the game. Let's drop this. Let's drop this. I've got a question on YouTube I need to answer, but I wanted to get through the build first. Apologies for that. Thank you for your patience. Let's see. What was that question? Because it was kind of an off-topic one. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Did I just lose that question?
The question was, what is your guess between the New Year's gift ship?
Right. I think there's Eamon. Okay. Which do you suggest between New Year's gift ships? Oh, okay. Are you Eamon? Are you looking at tier 10 or tier 8? You're talking about the Journey to the North Pole ships, right? If the ship had been good without Deadeye, it'd be OP with Deadeye. Well, true. But Eamon over on YouTube, if you could answer that question, please. Are you talking about tier 8 or tier 10? I will answer that generally for now. And in general, you want to go for whichever ship line you don't want to grind, if it's tier 8 or 10, because it gives you a boost to get that done. Alternately, you could do that on a ship that you've already completed. Let's say you already have the Audacious or the sub, whichever the sub is, I think Salmon. You can do that and get the free XP. I think it's like 140,000 free XP, which is pretty sexy. So either put it on a line that you don't feel like grinding up, or put it on a ship that you have the that you want to get the free XP out of. They should have adjusted once Deadeye. Yeah, I agree. That's the one thing I was trying to get at, is they should have, but they didn't. So Dutch.
This is the perfect matchmaking for me. There are no torpedo threat and there's no overmatch threat. That was totally fine here.
No carriers to deal with either. There is one sub to worry about. What's with the smoke early?
Enemy force detected.
I play aggressive to try to get a shot on the DD in the cap.
Alright. This is on EU.
I don't need the smokes anyway. I always have one left in the end, so...
Okay. And so there's the Trump. Yeah, you guys are perfectly...
So I can just play a bit aggressive, turn out with my smoke, and try to hit the Trump.
I'm surprised you haven't shot yet. Why are you waiting to shoot? I'm a little confused, because you said the whole point was so that you can shoot the destroyer, and then you didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think I forgot. Oh, I think I didn't go through my guns on time.
Okay. Well, you got a Slava that decided to show you side. You switched to AP and didn't really do that much to him, unfortunately. Sap is a good choice against the Slava, by the way, because he's got relatively low armor.
Yeah,
second shot sometimes. There you go, famous. Slava.
Then HE Slava do.
HE. Well, alright. Now I'm not so worried about him. What's a Slava doing shooting HE? My goodness.
I took my shot there. He and I did.
Yeah, he was slowing down, so I think, yeah, you definitely overshot there. Got a Venezia Hanlu on the other side. And a Schlieffen.
Yeah, I was happy that the Trump was in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the Krimny.
Yeah, Trump in the middle is okay. He's low. You want a buffed Roma with accurate guns? And Italian smoke. Yeah, that would be disgusting. And of course, now the Slava starts moving forward.
I hadn't the best shots in the first half. I was just losing HP for free without doing damage. Nope, not ideal.
No.
But anyway, we got the cap, so shouldn't be too worried. But I mean, I
Yep.
was concerned about the other side. But look at our ship is just. I'm just saying, nothing wrong about him. But look at him, just.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the cap, but the biggest problem
No,
is...
look at our submarine. I don't want to say anything, but you know,
Oh,
just you get me?
yeah, I see it. I see it.
It's like, yeah.
Torpedoes to port.
Well, you can't control that, unfortunately.
Look, and now
So-
now this is stupid because I should have accelerated earlier. Now I drifted in a drop.
Yeah, and those dwarfs were spotted, too.
Yeah,
So
what I
that
mean.
feels bad. So what he's talking about is that the sub is moving straight up. A lot of times this is like a bot behavior. You'll see a ship that just goes straight forward all the way up to the border and just rides it and then dies or whatever. We don't see bots too much over on the NA side of things. Now, if
Is it
if
a bot?
you-
I don't know.
well, he's
It's
turning now,
just-
so I don't think so.
It is just, I mean, on the EU server, it's completely different than the NA. Let's say the people that play it in general, the better players have like a higher level. But on the other side, the bottom players also have a lower level because there's a wider spread. I mean, I don't get it wrong, NA players are fine, but you know what I mean? That the spread, there are like more people playing on EU than NA. So because of that, the better players are better in comparison to the American players, but the worst players are, let's say, the worst players, not even the players that are less skilled in the game, are like, there's more chance that they are just absolutely clueless.
Yeah. Well, he's a 4501, so he moves faster underwater. So what he did was he went underwater, went all the way to the backfield. Now, he might be used to going for a carrier in the backfield and just completely forgot that there's no carrier in this game. But you can see him turning around, and he might go to hunt the Yamato or he might go to hunt the Porto. Either way,
If you can,
whatever.
If you can give me some tips on positioning, because I really struggle with that sometimes. I'm just sailing around. It's like a bad habit of me. I'm sailing around like every place without, you know, there's not really a place I go. I'm
So the big thing is when we were talking about the sub, I was gonna comment on how you've lost the sea cap, and everybody seemed to be running away from it except for the Minotaur. So I would probably put myself in a kite away position. I would be looking like this, keeping your guns to the right, and just nail whatever comes from the north into B cap or comes from C into the B cap. That's probably what I would be doing. And you notice how I drew it with this island in play here? So this island is like your anchor. And your island is where you start, and then from there, you can, you know, the island prevents the enemy from having an avenue to advance on you. They have to go all the way south to be able to go towards you. The way you're going right now that your Minotaur decided to donate himself, you basically are asking for trouble.
I mean, the Shimakaze is in the B cap, but I go for the one-on-one on the Stephen.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing. If you had put yourself here in a kite away position, you could be hammering the Shimakaze right now.
Agree.
A one-on-one with the Schlieffen feels bad once you let him get in secondary range. So if I were you right now, I would smoke and turn due south. Before he spots you again, I would smoke so he can't secondary you. You just DCP to fire. You don't want to be set on fire again. So smoke, go straight south.
Problem solved, sir. Smoke generator started.
So you smoke, but see, here's the problem. Now, because you hesitated, you then got a sticky fire. And now that you shot, because you shot, now he gets to shoot back at you, and his secondaries get to shoot at you for 20 seconds. Because of smoke fire penalty.
It's a Colombo hull, so the secondaries are not that big of an issue, to be honest.
Well, they can start fires, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the Stephen donates to me, so it should be fine.
Oh my god, he is totally donating. I don't know why he decided to turn sideways like that, but make sure you PayPal him. There's the kill. Ay, ay, ay.
Screen set.
Yeah, at the low tiers, tier 4, 5, you'll see bots if the matchmaker can't... Matchmaker wants to get a game within, what is it, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I think? Something like that. They don't want people waiting any longer than that. So if you enter matchmaking queue and it doesn't find a game by that point, it will dump everybody that's currently in queue and fill the rest of the population with bots. Okay, at this point, you might as well just go straight into C.
Oh, Yabagiri decided to play the game at that point as well. He gets W.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Schlieffen definitely... He might have picked up the torps at the Hydro. That's a good point, Dutch. And then, yeah, he probably expected... Because most people, what they do is they go into kite-away positioning and not, like, turning in. I still feel like you're not really changing your throttle at all. You're just changing your rudder more. And the reason I'm saying that is because, you know, it might be worth considering trying out the steering gears. The other thing that's nice about Colombo, 360-degree turrets in the rear. Look at that.
But this is what
That's
I like.
so sexy.
It's like you have to care about giving bolts to use all my turn. Can just make this turn and he'll shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cripple him with this shot only because.
Oh
it's
yes, you do. Because it's sap. Mm-hmm. What's up, Zocker? How's it going? Getting a lot of games of short high tier. Huh. Well, you don't have any other caps right now. We got that fun little issue with the replay. So it's actually, the numbers are flipped.
I was regretting that I didn't have AP loaded.
Yeah, you still did a good amount with sap.
Yeah, but AP should devastate him here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean with positioning? I'm just checking around the map for no reason a bit.
Torpedoes to port.
You get what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, no, I understand. But I'm also like, you know, I'm trying to comment when I see something that could be a little bit different, but most of what I'm seeing isn't really related to positioning. It's more just...
Spotter returning to ship.
Like here you're about to beach? Maybe?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. You DCP'd the first of the Trump drops, though, and I might have not DCP'd right away.
Yes, I
Here
also have it. It's hard to not... It's hard to how to say, it's hard to get it out of your system. It's like a habit.
Yep. At this point, I would actually be turning south, not north. You just got... you got a Shimakaze that might be chasing after you.
The enemy is about to win.
Venezia is smoked up. The Trump is definitely north based off of this drop here. And you actually just turned into... Wow. Okay. Shimakaze to your left.
I know.
Switch to H... well, I mean, you're at AP,
It
but
doesn't
I would
really
have...
matter. It's equal.
Yeah.
This guy's dead. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Torpedoes to port.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
At this point, it's where the things get sketchy because we're down on HP. Look at HP. We almost
Yeah.
have no HP in the pool. They have a Slava and they have Venezia, and Venezia was the thing that scared me the
Enemy
most
is about to win.
at this point. Because, you know, if he's a good player, he's like 2000, I'm gone.
Set.
Now you don't... Okay, now I was going to say you shoot, but you didn't have to shoot earlier while you were in smoke, so I'm glad that you held your fire. You're sideways to the Slava, and you're... He's got AP in the barrels, but he
is where I'm
totally
looking.
whiffed that shot. Wow, he totally whiffed that shot.
Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, I get lucky sometimes. That's just something you can't blame. It's like sometimes I get so lucky, but it's like sometimes. I mean, this game, I shouldn't have survived that Slava switch, for example. But yeah,
Yep. I'd probably have sap in the barrels for Puerto Rico, because
a big fat ship.
yeah, because of his armor. You switched a lot back and forth, and I think Pick one.
The enemy is about
Note your potential damage as well. By the way, if you took IRR, improved repair party readiness, you'd have that extra heal, and it actually would have come back sooner for you. Ironically enough.
Yes, it's good to have, yes.
And the reason I bring that up is because you might have taken less damage from torpedoes. I'm not sure exactly where the deep water hit, if it was on your belt or not, but if you had taken vigilance.
Harry get the
Oh,
present as
yeah. I mean, this Venezia is not even paying attention, so goodbye.
he's turning in now, but it's too late.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
The Colombo shells are so plunging fire friendly.
So, if you're ever not sure about where to position yourself, in general, what I like to say is my usual thought is to back off, not to advance. Most people's thought is to advance, and that's what you did too, because you said you don't know what you're doing. You're kind of just wandering on in. So, if you're ever not sure, back off and then look at the situation and what can you do to support. The big thing, like I said, I'm going to draw it on the mini-map, is when you lost the sea cap, instead of going into sea, go into a kite-away position. And then smack anything that goes into B cap. Because the Shimakaze went in, right? And you had the Slava, and you had the Venezia up there. And I think you would have been in a far better situation than what you put yourself into.
I got lucky that the Slava is an absolute banana.
You did get extremely lucky in several cases. That is one of them.
Now, look how lucky I am now. Look at my HP and look at the Slava.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But you also got lucky that the second airstrike from the Tromp didn't set you on fire, for example, too. That would have killed you right there.
I know. And sometimes I get so lucky in this game. It's like it's
Mhm.
weird.
And
Yeah,
your
it's just
initial smoke screen, you weren't able to make any use of it, right?
Yeah. Look. It's well.
Completely
No,
whiff.
sometimes you miss
set a smoke
You
screen.
missed.
But that's the
because
use
the
of
acceleration mode.
right, because of propulsion, right? So that's the one time the propulsion mod saved you.
And now the Slava is gone
Ship sunk.
because it's like you hit only 5 shells, but you still do 10k damage because
Sap.
yes.
All right, so all that's left is a sub. You finally have the point lead. Wow.
Was about time, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you've got 4 ships, they've got 1, and, you know, yeah, so 2 minutes to go. Solo warrior time for the enemy sub. Is your gearing AFK?
Yes, he was AFK for the book.
Oh my god.
We don't need him.
Still 2 minutes early to get the point lead?
Indeed, it is. No, but you know, I mean, maybe I've said it sometimes. Maybe I have to change my nickname to Lucky Elephant. Sometimes I get away with situations that I shouldn't get away with. But
Yeah. I mean, and that's part of being a good player is, you know, you get into bad situations, but you learn how to get yourself out of them. And you know, that comes in handy. You're asking for radio location, probably because I would just take some guess shots into A. Who cares?
just go as RPF, you know, it's more easy.
Right, but nobody's telling you, so you might as well just shoot. You know, especially while you got the plane up, and now it's too late.
Was he still in a replay or is he playing actual?
This is a replay. We are looking at a replay.
That's what I thought. I was just like,
Yeah, subs in A anyway, but the point is, like, you might as well just take a shot. You might get lucky with a decap or a hit or whatever, and
That's right.
you're not doing anything else anyway. You know, so. And the time it took for you to ask, anybody have radio location? Where are they pointing? Blah blah blah. You could have actually fired 1 salvo and probably been ready for your second right there after you got spotted.
Yes. I mean, I make a lot of small mistakes. I still get a nice game, but it's like about the small details, isn't it?
So, because we're still in the replay and it hasn't ended yet, I'm going to use this as an example, as an opportunity to show you what I'm talking about here with positioning. The biggest one is when you lost CCAP. So the Minotaur decided to go and throw his life away. Good for him. But I think what would have been a far better position for you is to think of this island here as your base. And you don't have to go all the way to the island, but you want to basically put yourself, you were about here. So you put yourself about here and you start sailing kind of like in this direction. Because now what you can do is you can turn your turret still, and then you can fire over your shoulder at anything that's coming down through B or anything that's coming through C. So you put yourself in a prime position to take advantage of the spotting of your teammates. As a matter of fact, even more important is the fact that you had your division mates. You had a Petro division mate. I think he died over here. No, he died right here. You had your division mate in the Petro that was spotting at B. So you sitting here with shots north is also supporting your Petropavlovsk and keeping him alive, right?
Yeah, that makes totally sense.
All right, let's get the replay over with, and we can take a look at your post-game stats here. So 252,000.
They weren't that impressive, I guess.
Yep, a lot of medals here. So you got General Offensive, Confederate Strike Team, Dreadnought Kraken, and High Caliber. The 4501 that you were talking about earlier being a bad player, he came in first place.
Because it's a sub and just spotting, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's how submarine works. Look at the enemy submarine.
Well, okay, sure. But, when we look at the replay render, we can take a look at what the 4501 did, and to a certain extent the 2501 did, to earn all that. We don't see it that much because we're playing the game and we're on the other side of the battle. And LOL, your gearing had 27 points, which means he probably actually spotted something at some point. So let's see. Where's the replay render? Is that the right one? Nope. I knew I had forgotten something. Let's put the proper replay render up. Our Colombo. And here we go. So, I mean, the 4501 had a great game because he was doing what he does best, which is staying underwater. You can see he's using his consumable right there, so he can extend his dive time. And he's literally just going as fast as he can. No, he actually surfaced there. He surfaced to A. That's weird. Oh, no, he didn't surface. That's the enemy team. Never mind. So right here, you should be thinking about swapping your guns, going in a kiting away position, and then what I would do is I would reverse towards that island, because that way you have the ability to turn and run if you need to. 4501 takes a couple shots on the Yami, misses, keeps going north.
And then he realized there's no CV in the game.
Well, or did he know that anyway? Because if you look at it, he was firing his torpedoes out of his rear, and 4501 actually, it's the rear where the majority of the torpedoes are. So, yeah, he's shooting at the Yamato, the other one now.
Engine boost activated.
Puerto Rico has Hydro up. Now it's down. Yeah, it looks like he hit the Arpeggio Yamato with at least one torpedo. The big thing is his team is spotting for him, so he can set up for his torpedo runs and stuff like that. Here's your fight with the Schlieffen. He actually shot the other Yamato. Interesting. And missed. Oh, he shot the Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. I thought he would have shot the Yamato, is what I was trying to say. Okay, well, he torped the Yamato.
Even donated to me. That was pretty nice of him. I complimented him after the battle.
Sure, go for it.
But look, this positioning. I mean, I'm pushing like an idiot, basically.
Yeah, well, like I said, because a lot of players don't know what to do position-wise, like you said. And for a lot of players, when they're not sure what to do, their default decision is to move northward. Now, look at this map for a second. If you had been essentially where the Grozavoy is, kiting away, you could have been nailing that destroyer that was spotted up to the north. You could have killed the Venezia the Slava. Actually, let me back up the replay a little bit. Let's back the replay up a little bit. Here's the part here where I talked about going south, right? Right there. What is that? That's the Venezia in B. You were in prime position to clobber that Venezia. There's the Slava. And you'd be angled, right? You'd be able to angle to the Slava, no problem. Clobber the Venezia. Work your way on the Slava. And by the way, then your Petro survives. Possibly. Oh, look. There's a Shimakaze that's right where you would have been. So you would have had to deal with Shimakaze torpedoes, possibly. I mean, hey, you ended up winning. It's still a good game. And I do appreciate that you said, hey, I'd like to get some feedback on positioning. So, meanwhile, the sub is going to go into the A-cap. And here's, I think, no, he's not capping. He's... Oh, because there's a destroyer. It's weird. The replay render doesn't show all the torpedoes. He actually torpedoed the destroyer. That's what got him all the damage, or all the XP.
That's what I mean. My aim is, I think, decent, and the rest okay, but my positioning is so horrible sometimes.
Yeah. So I think that the number one thing to think about in your mind, and I always think about this too, is, you know, where is the enemy going to come from? And what can I do to put myself in a position to support my team? You going into C, I mean, Yamagiri came with you, but for the most part, you were by yourself. Yeah, the sub got the Yamato and the Yamagiri, and then also surfaced and took the cap, I think. So that's probably what got him all the XP. And to a certain extent, maybe that's well earned, because you won because of him. Certainly not because of your AFK gearing. Chat, what are we going to call this replay if it makes it out to YouTube? Yeah, he did hit some other ships too. It just doesn't really show that well in the replay render. Actually, you know what I can do? I can open that replay file, and we can see exactly what happened with that sub. That 4501, he did 140,000 damage.
How do you see that?
I have a program I can use to open up the replay, and I can see quickly how much damage everybody did.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So he did his part. I mean, he capped too, but like I said, you won because of him. So. All right. Well, Dutch, thank you very much for your support, and it's good hanging out and good giving you some feedback. Any other questions at all, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I sent
Awesome.
in for. I will renew my next week. You do the new replays, right?
We're continuing to do more replays. Absolutely, yes.
Next week, because next week I will renew my subscription, and then I got another replay.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
And then I sent already one in.
Yeah, just remind me which one it was, because I don't put names next to replays when I download them. I literally just... Okay, cool.
I just sent it today, like just past. And thank you for giving me advice. I can work with it, and I appreciate it.
Sure, of course.
And have a nice afternoon. That I'm going to bed because I have to work tomorrow early.
All right. Go sleep. Good night. Thank you much.
Nice.